So this one came out yesterday, doesn't have any reviews yet. So Snake here will be getting my first review because I did buy it for $1.99. You see that I played it just a few minutes. That's how I have 0.1 hours. It is made by Romans 116 Gaming, and it's their only game on Steam right now. Now look at this, guys. He has the actual source code here. He has let you see the source code to his game. I think that's really neat. So if you wanted to go in and, you know, alter that source code to add things you wanted or whatever, if you knew that the code that he uses and wanted to add to it or learn from it or whatever, he has that source code right there. So great way for you guys to learn some code and learn how to change things up, maybe make things different. I really like the fact that this developer has included the source code to the Snake game. But in the Snake game for only $2, you get everything you'd expect, plus a little extra. You get the classic mode, eat food and grow as long as you can without hitting the walls for yourself. Open, this is the same as classic, but without walls. So you travel, you basically wrap around the screen, right? You still can't hit yourself, but you're not going to have the outside walls to worry about. You just wrap around the screen. Or levels, this is where the extra comes in. There's 12 levels available, each requiring you to get a minimum score in the previous level to unlock. Levels consist of various obstacles that make growing your snake more challenging, such as additional walls and portals to take you to various sections of the screen. You can go slow, medium, and fast to accommodate any skill level, and levels can be unlocked by playing any level. So if you're struggling with a free level, feel free to slow it down. And then you also have different themes. If you don't like the original green tint of the snake, don't worry. The game has 9 different themes that change the color palette and design of the entire game. So very nice. Let's go ahead and check this game out, guys. I think it looks like you get a lot of value here for $2. So here we are, guys. We have our open, our classic. We have the levels. Here's where you can change your speed from slow, medium, or fast. I like that. I like how easy it is. I'm just using the WASD keys. You could use the arrow keys here as well. And then over here, this is where you can change your palette. So you can make the bricks look more like walls or whatever. Change it to whatever design you want. It's a really nice feature there. For sure. Let's just try classics. You know what? No, let's try something a little bit different. Everybody's seen that classic thing 100 times, right? Let's try this one. Sure. All right, so let's go classic to start with. I think this is a medium speed, right? Okay, we see exactly what this is. You're just gonna go until you die here, guys. Alright. Let's lower the volume just a little bit for this game. Oh, that was fast. Okay. I was gonna say, that looked a little bit fast. Let's see how many points I can get here, guys, on fast. The thing I like about this game that a lot of these Snake games don't have is they don't have these super fluid controls. That's the problem with a lot of the Snake games. Either the collision detection is bad, and you'll like hit an apple or whatever, and you won't eat it, or you'll not hit a wall and it'll say you crashed, and the controls won't be very responsive. This game, the controls are insanely responsive. And I bet you there's at least 100 Snake games on Steam at this point. But this one's going to be in the upper 10%, I can already tell you. Just from feeling the way the game plays. This game's easily worth $1.99, guys. I love the music as well. The music definitely fits the game style. Now the question I have is, can I go back into myself? And what I mean by that is if I'm going left and I immediately push back to the right without actually making a circle, will it kill me? So let's try that out. Go left now. No, I didn't. You can't go back into yourself. That's good, because I think that's a frustrating thing for a lot of people new to these kind of games. you can't actually put your head back in your throat. And so it won't let you die by doing that. It won't let you reverse direction either. I mean, if you want to reverse direction, you have to go like that. You have to make a circle. I mean, I remember playing so many of these kind of games back on the Commodore 64. Used to love snake games. One of my favorite games back on the Commodore 64 was the Worm of Beamer. It was a type-in game from, I think, like 1981, 1982 or something like that of Compute Magazine. I played the shit out of that game. And it had nothing, it had nowhere near the fluid controls or speed that this game has. I mean, it's obviously computers today can handle making a game like this far superior to what the Commodore 64 could, but the one thing I would recommend to this developer, if this developer does ever watch this video, is I would love to see my score. So I'm a little bit confused about that. I mean, I understand we only have one life, but why are we lacking a score? Couldn't we put the score somewhere? I don't know. I mean, I know you want to use up the full screen, but I feel like you have enough room at the top to give us at least a little score in tiny font anyway. And again, guys, I mean, if I knew how to do this type of code and wanted to go in and code this, he has the source code available for you where you could go in and add that. Or if you wanted to go in and give yourself 3 lives in this game, or if you wanted to go in and make it multiplayer so, you know, you and your friend could play at the local computer. You know, one with a WAC and one with a... One person could use WAC, one person could use the arrow key. Yeah, thanks for coming in, man. Yeah, guys, I can... Like I say, I have a few gripes about this game. Well, really only one gripe. I just feel like we should see our score. I mean, I guess you could see your relative score by how long your snake is. I don't know. I'm just one of those guys that... Another thing, too, that would be nice... I mean, I know you're... See, now we see your score, so maybe they wanted to keep you kind of guessing, you know? One thing I think could have been cooler with this game, and another thing I'd recommend to the developer, just 2 little knocks, and they're not that big. I just think it would be nice to see your score somewhere on the screen. And then when I crash into a wall, or if you crash into yourself, I think it would be cool to see some kind of effect. So as we saw, if I crash into the wall, that's all it does. I think to show some lines of impact, some impact lines, or show, you know, your head exploding or something like that. See, that's all it is. That's a little bit flat, just kind of like the sound effect is really flat. I think that showing just some, it doesn't even have to be that great of an effect. Just showing even some impact lines of the effect, or show your head flashing. Maybe show your head flashing red, you know, for a few seconds, like flashing red. I think that would really be all you would need. You just give it a lot more, a little more satisfying effect for your death, rather than just a whoa, you know. I would definitely add that. But again, there, guys, he has the source code available, so, you know, you guys could pretty much add anything you wanted. Other things you could add to this game, besides just eating these things, is, you know, what about adding a timer? What about you have to get so big in a certain amount of time? And then if you add a timer, maybe go in and add some, instead of just food here that you eat to get bigger, maybe add something that, you know, a star or something like that. You eat a twirling star, and it makes you speed up for 30 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever. You go like double time. You know, you get a good speed up or something. So with a game like this, I mean, there's all kinds of things you could definitely add to a game like this, just to kind of change it up and change the feel. One thing, if you were going to do that, though, if you were going to add a timer and you were going to add speed boost and all that, you'd probably want to put those as an option for players, so players didn't have to play like that. You know, turn timer off and on, turn speed boost off and on. But again, also multiplayer, being able to play at least local multiplayer against your, you know, family member, your friend, would be really cool. I don't think this kind of game would really support online combat, because you'd have to have a really good connection, or whoever was connecting to you would feel really laggy. And in a game like this, you need super fast response. So a wireless connect, or, you know, a internet connection just wouldn't do a game like this justice. So many of these games like this require such good response time that if I connected to somebody, like if somebody connected to me, say from Even like if they connected to me from Nebraska, halfway across the country from me, they would have so much lag, they'd be crashing a whole lot, and it really wouldn't be their fault. But you could at least make it local multiplayer so I could play with my son, or you could play with your girlfriend, or whatever, you know, locally. This is definitely, even with my complaints or my suggestions to the developer to make this game better, this is definitely one of the better Snake games on Steam, guys. I've played a ton of them. Most of them I really don't like that I've played. I'd have to think about the ones. I know there was a 3D one. I think it was called... I can't remember what the name of it. It was like a 3D Snake game. It was pretty good. And then there was one like this that was pretty good, but I can't remember for the life of me which one it was. Like I said, I played so many of them. I played one in the last year or two that was pretty good as well. And I think it did have local multiplayer. But if you're just looking for a single... If you're looking for like the old classic Snake game that you used to play on the Nokia phone or whatever, if you're just looking for a classic Snake game to play, you know, solo... If you're looking for a game, you're playing Dead by Daylight or a game like that where you have to wait for a lobby and people to connect or whatever, you're looking for a game to play while you wait, I can't imagine a better game than this game right here. I mean, the last game, Missile Command, would be pretty good as well. But everybody knows Snake. Everybody is going to probably have fun watching you play this thing while you're waiting for, you know, a game to load up in a multiplayer game if you're streaming or whatever. Let's go ahead and try it. We know what open... We'll try this real quick here, guys. You know what I should have done? Let's go ahead and change the graphic style just so we can see a few of these different graphic styles. And then we'll go open here. So this one's the same thing, except you don't have the outside wall. You just can't run into yourself. So, I mean, it offers up a little variety. I like that. Same exact game, there's just no outside walls. Obviously, this is a little bit less challenging because there are no borders. So we see what that is, guys, and I'm going to keep it on fast. Let's go ahead and try this levels here thing and see what this is about. So let's go ahead, guys, and let's jump into this levels and see what this is like. Yeah, see, we now have extra walls that we got to watch out. So this is going to, like I said, the open kind of made it a little bit less challenging. This is obviously going to make the game a lot more challenging, especially if you put it on the speed I have it at now, the fast speed. But again, the controls are so fluid and so tight on this game. They're so well coded. This is a very well coded game. And in a lot of ways, guys, I think a lot of people dismiss these kind of games for their graphics, but what people don't understand is how much fun these simple little games can be. And these games, unlike so many games today, these games really do require nothing but hand-eye coordination. I mean, this is all hand-eye coordination. So if you've ever wanted to increase your hand-eye coordination, you know, play a game like this. You know, play one of these old-school retro games. Play Pac-Man. Play Frogger. They're all, as long as they have a good response time to your, you know, your hand movements, just like this one does, you're definitely going to increase your hand-eye coordination with a game like this. So we kind of see what this game is here, guys. So a couple of things I would definitely add to this game to the developer. I would add a score so that while you're playing, you know where your score is at any given time. I think these things are kind of mandatory. I'd love to see these, you know, these implemented into the game from the developer himself. I know he's put the source code out there, but I think the developer should go in and change these things. Even if it's in little letters at the very top, give us a score so we see what our score is all the time. And then the other thing is, if you're going to have scores, if we're getting scores, it doesn't look like we have. Yeah, we don't have any Steam leaderboards. So Steam leaderboards and showing your score on the screen, and then adding Steam leaderboards would put this game over the top. Right now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give this game $1.99. It's well worth that. I think anybody that loves an old Snake game is going to get well more than 2 hours out of this game. I mean, I just sat here and played it for another, 15 minutes or whatever. But I like the fact that you can change all the different, you can change the style and what everything looks like. You can change from slow, medium, or fast movement speed. You can do these different, this is going to be that last one where you have the levels and you have different portals. And see how you're going through different portals? That's going to make things really difficult. Look back at that, guys. So what he has here is he has portals, and your snake, it's just one snake. It looks like it's different snakes. But what that is, guys, is that is one long snake, and it's going through different portals. So like for example, your snake starts here, and it comes here, and then maybe it comes up this portal here, and then goes back in, and then comes in this portal here, and then, it comes back out here or whatever. So that's going to really make things interesting with those different portals. I really like that. Um, So, yeah, I like this game. I think that leaderboards and, like I said, leaderboards and showing your score even in small font somewhere, bottom, top, whatever, would be nice. Maybe even, put a black box like right here in the middle over the wall and put the score right there or something. Anything to show your score, I think, would be good. Those are the two recommendations I have for the developer. But value, guys, for $2, I think anybody, like I said, that likes a good snake game is going to get well more than 2 hours out of this game over the coming year or so. This game is going to be well worth the price. 40 out of 40 for value all day long. No doubt about it. You love snake games. You've ever enjoyed any kind of snake game on your own phone or whatever, you're probably going to love this one just because it's so much faster, so much more fluid as far as the controls. Fun, again, the more subjective part of my scoring, where 30 points, what's fun to me may not be fun to you, but I think you can have a blast with this type of a game. I'm going to go ahead and give this game a 27 out of 30 for fun. I like it even today. A classic snake game from like the 80s or 70s or whatever, is still a hell of a lot of fun. It doesn't make sense to me how people can think that Pac-Man and Frogger and Hubert and Missile Command and all these games, from the 80s that were fun back then, if they were fun back in the 80s and people love these classic kind of games back in the 80s, why would they not be fun today? Think about that for a minute. Why would a game that was super fun back in the 80s, like Pac-Man, why would Pac-Man suddenly be not fun today? Well, Zax, there's better games with better graphics. I get that. But sometimes we think too much and we overcomplicate things. Keep it simple, stupid. A lot of these games are super simple, super fun, super addicting, and they were super fun back in the 80s. They're still going to be super fun today. We haven't changed. We're still humans. Fun is fun is fun. Fun for Pac-Man back in 1981 is still going to be fun in the year 2001, and it's still going to be fun in the year 2021. I'm just saying. This game's super fun, guys. I'm going to give it 27 out of 30. Next criteria is controls and bugs. The controls are super responsive. I haven't seen any bugs in this game. I have to give this game a 20 out of 20 for controls and bugs. And for the type of game that it is, how are the graphics and sound? I like this game. I think the graphics are fine for what it is. The music is going to take it up a notch. I'd probably give it a 7, but because the music is so good, I'm probably going to take that up to an 8. 8 out of 10 for graphics and sound for the type of game that it is. Obviously, I'm not comparing this game to, Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight would probably get an 8 out of 10 for graphics and sound as well, but it's a completely different type of game. So you add that all up, guys. Again, you wind up with another 95. I took 5 points away. 40 out of 40 for value, 27 out of 30 for fun, 20 out of 20 for controls and bugs, and 8 out of 10 for graphics and sound. You wind up with another 95%. You wind up with another Zaxtors Indie Gold. A few ways the developer can make this game better. Again, add a score. Definitely add leaderboards, team leaderboards, so we can try to compete and get the best score out there. Would be cool. And then another thing you could really do is add local multiplayer so that you could play against one other person, in kind of a, combat. You can try to trap each other or cut each other off, or you could simply, maybe you can make a couple different modes. One where you try to cut each other off at high speeds. Another mode where you're trying to eat the most apples or whatever, and you're fighting over the apples and see who can stay alive the longest. Who can get the better score or whatever. So you could do just some different things for, objectives if you made a player. So I'd love to see those added as well. But then again, guys, he gives you a source code if you want to go ahead and try to make that happen yourself. 95% score, 2 Zaxtors Indie Gold.